Okay, so I haven't posted anything in, I know it's been over a month, probably close to almost 2 months since I posted anything. But about halfway through making this video, we had an unexpected death in the family. My sister Terry passed away. So I've been dealing with that and trying to process that. So it's been tough. And I really hadn't been in the mood to come out here and work on this stuff. But anyway, that's kind of where we've been, what's been going on, and why we haven't posted anything in a while. But it's time to get back out here. Like I said, I did have some of this video already made before that happened, so we'll try to pick back up where we left off if I can kind of remember where I was at. It's been a while. But first things first, I am going to try to get the shop cleaned up a little bit so I can kind of maneuver around in here and then get back on the rotten tomato over there. But yeah, just kind of giving you an update of what's been going on. So anyway, we'll get right back into it. Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are back out here working on this rusty hunk of crap. I've been trying to get the frame cleaned up a little bit, trying to get it ready to, I just want to fog everything black, but it's pretty nasty. It's just got caked on, decades worth of caked on dirt, and there's, you know, not rust, but like surface rust, and there's some scaly rust. You know, you can see there. I think maybe the fire was concentrated more on this side because this side of the firewall was burned, and the rust is way worse over here. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is or not. Who knows? I mean, like I said, this car sat out in the woods for God knows how long after it had been burnt. You know, it probably sat out there 20 something years or longer. Who knows? But I don't even know why I'm really worried about all this, like why I'm going, you know, into this much effort to clean this frame up as bad as the rest of the whole car is. I can't help myself. I think because I'm putting a new core support in it, I guess since the core support's going to be new, I want everything else under the hood to look halfway decent. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even understand how my brain works sometimes, but it's a tedious, boring process. So I'm not gonna bore y'all with watching me do it. I mean, nobody wants, this is the grunt work, like the crap work that nobody ever sees and nobody ever wants to see. So I just been kind of working on it like off camera. I was trying out this new tool I got, this little, I don't even know what it's called, but this big wheel roller thing. It works pretty good on like the bigger flat surfaces, but you can't get into any tight crevices with it, so I got to come up with something else. I guess I'll just get my regular grinder. I don't really want to use a grinding wheel on it because I don't want to take off any material, but I mean, I've got those flat discs, but they'll take off quite a bit of stuff. So I don't know, I might have to come up with something else because I've already wore that wheel out pretty good. I mean, there's a little life left in it, but I don't have any more, so I'm either gonna have to get some more or come up with something new. So that's kind of what I've been working on this morning. And I kind of got to thinking too, we had talked about reusing the control arms that came off the gray car, which the gray car is not in here. I pulled it outside while I was grinding all this stuff off because I didn't want to get it covered in dust, but I'd forgotten. I don't know if you can see, but like the holes for the shock, where the shock mounts are busted out on them. So I'd kind of forgot about that, so I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. I mean, that can be fixed, but I didn't really want to buy new control arms. Just because I just don't want to, but I may wind up having to. I don't really want to rebuild these either. I mean, they're not rotted out, but they're pretty crusty, and it needs all new bushings and ball joints and everything. I mean, the bushings and ball joints and those are pretty good, so I may wind up using those. I've got these are new, like cheap, like eBay control arms that I think they came off my son's Le Mans when we parted out. I just threw them on here to make this car a roller. I could take them off of here, but I don't want to go through that much work right now. I don't want to tear this car apart just for the control arms. I would buy new ones before I did all that. And plus, I don't want that car to not be a roller. I know it doesn't, it's just become a place to pile stuff right now, but I could air the tires up and push it outside if I needed to. So I don't know what we're going to do yet on that, but I got a while before I got to worry about that. But yeah, it's just, man, this car's in bad shape. Bad shape. But I wish I had like a better way. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? I mean, I got like some wire wheels, like, but they're just little. I think it would take forever. I could chuck one of these up in a drill. I got a few of those. Matter of fact, I think that's what I used on the gray car when I cleaned the frame up on it when I first put it back together. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep working on it and see if I can get it, you know, halfway decent enough to throw some paint on. But I do have to get inside, like this cross member there, it's just caked full of dirt. I need to get all that out and get that kind of cleaned up. All around those motor mounts is just caked up. It's bad. So, but I haven't found any structural damage to the frame or any big, like, no rusted through spots, so I'm happy about that. I was really worried about that after I kind of have gotten this far into this car. That would have been bad if I, you know, found some really bad rust on the frame. So I am glad for that. But anyway, I'm gonna keep messing with this thing, trying to get it cleaned up, and hopefully pretty soon we'll have some paint on it and we can start going back together with this thing. Well, we're getting there. I got most everything on the frame except for the underside, and then I ran out of a little roll lock disc to get in some of the tight areas. I started a little bit on the firewall. There was some like clumps of, I don't know, whatever that stuff is that they seal the AC box with. I got all that off. I need to get like a sander and sand it down instead of using that flap wheel. It's just kind of gouging it, so I'd like to smooth that down a little bit more. I kind of worked up here on the top. Some of this seam sealer is going to have to be, that's going to have to be straightened and re-seam sealed. I got a little spot of rust right there, and a couple of spots over here where the plate was. So I'm hoping I can just maybe weld those up and grind that down. And I mean, I'm not going to get too like carried away with that. Oh, no hat, sorry. But I'm kind of letting it air out in here. It's pretty dusty, and I was wearing my respirator, but you know, working on this car with all this dust and rust and stuff, I had some issues a few months ago that put me in the hospital from working on this thing. So I'm trying to be a little more careful and, you know, keep the shop aired out, the doors open, and wear my respirator, because respiratory issues are no fun, let me tell you. So use your PPE. But anyway, I'm going to maybe stop for the day, because I do need to get some more roll lock discs. I could probably still, you know, do the underside with the flap wheel and stuff, but I'm kind of tired of messing with it for today. But we'll get back on it sometime this week, hopefully. All right, it is the next weekend. Kind of got a little sidetracked working on this thing, but anyway, I got the gray car sitting outside running. The battery was dead this morning when I come out to work on the red car. I wanted to pull the gray car out because we were going to put some primer on it and had to jump it. So she's been out there running for, well, however long it took me to do this. So, but yeah, I guess we hadn't drove her in a couple weeks, I guess. So it happens. But I could have done like a lot better cleaning this up and getting it ready for paint. But like I said in the last little bit, like, I don't even know why I'm bothering with it. This poor car is such a hunk of crap. You know, putting a lot of time and effort into cleaning this all up and making it super nice is just kind of pointless. But I did want to be able to put some paint on it and make it halfway decent. So we just kind of got to a certain point and said, hell with it, we're going to throw some paint on it. So we're going to let this primer kind of dry a little bit. Shouldn't take too long. And then just fog everything black, and then we'll probably let that all dry this evening before we start trying to go back together with it. I didn't go too far down with the paint or the primer or anything, because where I've welded that, I've got to like kind of clean all that up and seam seal that. So from about here back is all going to be undercoated anyway. So my main focus was just the firewall and the front part of the frame. I haven't even started underneath the car or any of that yet, because I still will have to weld all, or not weld, grind all the welds down and then kind of clean up underneath it a little bit, and we'll seam seal it and undercoat it. And then I bought some like rust encapsulator for all that, which I think we've already talked about that, so I'm not going to try not to waste any more of y'all's time with that. I am going to try to just fix the control arms that came off of the gray car instead of buying new ones or taking them off the other car over there. I think I can just weld me like a couple of washers on there or something and just be done with that. I didn't have, of course, you know, we cut all the springs. I wasn't going to use them anyway. I have some 2-inch drop springs, but I really didn't want it sitting super low. So I ordered these little rubber isolators that are also some spacers, because I've never had to run isolators on a front spring before. I mean, I've been messing with these cars my whole life and working on front ends and stuff, and never have I had an issue with springs making noise in the front until that car, the gray car. So I'm trying to eliminate that on this car before we put all that together. So we're going to try this. I don't know if you're supposed to put them on the top and bottom, but I got 4 that should eliminate any weird spring noise and give me a little bit more lift. Like I said, I don't want it sitting super low. I don't like them real low, because the gray car sits too low in the front, which I think to eliminate that problem and the noise, I'm just going to eventually put some coilovers on the front where that'll eliminate the spring being sitting in the, you know, the bottom control arm, and I can just adjust ride height like I want. So, but I ain't spending that kind of money on this stupid car, so we're just going to try this. These little, like I said, these little rubber isolators are probably, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch thick. So they're 2-inch drop springs, and so together with the top and bottom, that should give me another inch. So, you know, another inch of height anyway is the plan. I hope y'all can hear me. I got that car running out there, but maybe it ain't too loud. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna let that primer dry a little bit, and we'll get some black paint on it hopefully today. It may be later this evening, but I'd like to get it on today. That way it's got plenty of time to dry before the next time I have to work on it. And hopefully we can get the front end back together, all the suspension stuff, and get it back down on the ground. I know I've said many times, I hate it when they're not in a roller form. You know, I want to be able to move the car whenever I want or roll it around. So it, you know, took a while to get it back into a roller, and then I immediately tore it back down. So hopefully it won't be too long, we'll have that together. Well, there you have it. Rattle can resto at its finest. Look at that. Does it look good? Absolutely not. Does it look better than it did? Maybe. Did I forget to clean all the dirt out from underneath the bottom of the frame before I painted it? 100% not. Did not do that. Forgot all about it. But I don't care. I mean, you know, it's all black. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, right? Yeah, it's fine. By the time you get all the other stuff, you know, motor, all the suspension, inner fenders, and all that stuff in it, you won't even notice how bad it actually looks. I mean, it don't really look that bad. There are some runs in it, and a few spots I did miss cleaning it up good, but like I said, who cares, you know. The poor firewall is pretty pitted up a little bit. I tried to put the paint on pretty thick right there, but it didn't really help. I didn't worry about the top side of the firewall yet, or, you know, the cowl area, because I still got some work I got to do that. I just wanted to get it to a point where we could start assembling the front end back together. But I think we're gonna have to let this paint dry, obviously, and then I need to get out of here and get some fresh air, because it stinks like paint really bad, and I've been in here for a couple hours breathing it. So I think I'm gonna take a little break. I don't know if I'll get back out maybe tonight. I don't know, I probably need to let it dry overnight. What do y'all think? Probably, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna stop there and we'll be back on it as quick as we can. Okay, so we're kind of picking up where we left off a month or so ago. I kind of touched on it at the beginning of this video, why we haven't been out here much lately. Kind of left off with getting the frame and firewall kind of painted. I did kind of clean up just a little bit. It doesn't really look like it, but I did enough to where I can at least walk around in here. I kind of am working on this lower control arm. I think what I'm going to do, I've got these nuts with these washers made on them, and I've got the shock bolted in there, so I'm just going to kind of tack the nut in there, and then I'll have to trim the washer like where the shock slides in and out, and I think that'll be good enough. I'll have to probably trim this little edge here too, so the spring will sit down in there, and I think that'll be good enough. Once the shock and everything is in there and it's bolted in and sandwiched together, that'll hold good enough. I know I showed a picture of it earlier in the video of how that was broke out where the bolts go. So this side here, it's still fine, so we'll use it, no problem. But yeah, I'm trying to get this all done so we can get the suspension back in this thing and hopefully at least get it back on the ground and get wheels and tires back on it so it will sort of roll. Of course, we won't have any steering or anything until we get all that stuff done. I'm not going to put the steering column or booster and stuff back on until we get all of this kind of ground down and coated with something, because I want to clean all that up in there. That'll be, you know, that'll be something for later. Right now I just want to get this done, so I'm going to work on getting those kind of tacked in there, and hopefully that'll be good enough. Hopefully, we shall see. Well, just like everything else I weld, it's ugly as a mud fence, but it should hold. So I'll try to get set up where you can see me put all this stuff back together. And speaking of ugly as a mud fence, I'm going to apologize in advance that y'all might see me in a pair of shorts while I'm working on this car, but it's August in South Arkansas, so it's like the 5th ring of hell outside, so it's hot. Y'all just gonna have to deal with it. So I got everything kind of set up. I got the control arms bolted on there. I got the spring and the spring compressor just kind of hanging there right now. I was trying to get everything, find all my nuts and bolts and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to draw that spring up where I can get the control arm up enough to get the knuckle on. I hate this spring compressor. It sucks so bad, but it's all I got, so we're gonna see what we can get done with it. Hopefully it works out and I don't take my head off. Let me see if I can get the camera set up here where y'all can see what's going on. gonna go ahead and put the jack under it. Maybe that way if it does kind of pop out, it won't take my head off, hopefully. Yeah, coming off the jack stands there, so. Ooh, easy now. All right. Well, I can't find nothing in this shop. Jack is kind of right in my way, but I know I make things look a lot harder than they need to be. Oh, 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 oh. Almost got to see me bust my ass. Yeah, we still like a ways to go. Pressure off. Little isolator has come off the spring. Ooh, do not like that at all. It'll just make everything harder. Oh, shit. I really don't want to put my hand in there. If I put a zip tie on that, if it would hold it. All right, try again. Oh shit. About lost it off the jack stands right there. Whew. Dang it. Oh, what a pain. Have I ever mentioned I don't like doing front end work? Ooh. Well, I might have to wait until I can get it down on its weight to tighten that ball joint up. Whew, that's the bad thing about doing all this stuff with no motor or nothing. There's no weight to put pressure on that stuff, but it's in there good enough, I think, for now. See if we can get this spring compressor out of here. I hate that, but it's all I got. This is one of the worst parts about this is once you get it in there, then trying to get it out is such a pain. Ooh, yeah. We almost dropped the car off the jack stands a couple times there. Don't make me say bad words. Afraid of that. Sometimes you got to unbolt the little hooks from it. Got to be an easier way. Oh, there we go. Well, that was a struggle, but anyway, we got all that side done, or, you know, somewhat done. Everything I'll have to go through and tighten everything down once I get, you know, everything on it, but I won't make y'all watch me do the other side since I struggled so much with that one, but you kind of get the gist of it. So hopefully here before too long, it'll be sitting on the ground with tires. Okay, we got a problem. The tool broke when I had the spring almost fully compressed, so it's kind of stuck right there under a lot of pressure. And I'm kind of afraid to go over there and try to let the jack down, because I don't know what that jack or what that spring's gonna do. But yeah, I don't know if you can see, the tool broke, or it didn't break, it pulled through the frame, like the head of it pulled through the frame. So there's a lot of pressure on that spring. What do I need to do here? I don't really feel like getting my head taken off, but I guess I'm gonna have to try. Ooh, I don't want to do this. Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. I just made a big deal out of nothing. drama for the camera, I guess. So yeah, that's not cool. Look at that. I don't know what to do now. I guess, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss at the moment, because I don't have anything else that'll compress that spring now that I've done that. I guess I can find some heavy duty washers, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna have to get some of that light shine right in y'all's face. Sorry about that. So, like everything else around here, nothing goes according to plan. This turned into a disaster. I really was hoping to get this thing back, you know, in a roller today, but don't look like that's gonna happen. So I think this is probably where I'm gonna stop for the day and regroup and come up with a better plan, because this ain't gonna cut it. But okay, so I may have been a little dramatic earlier, but I wound up finding some washers. Show you what I got, some bigger, thicker washers, and was able to get it. But I am gonna have to weld something in there, because the shock, that'll never work for the shock. I guess this side wasn't far from it. Again, just another reason to hate that tool. I can let this down one-handed here. But yeah, this side, it's all in there. I'm gonna get the tool out. Anyway, we'll worry about that in a minute, but I just wanted to show you that I did get it all together on that side. So that tire's flat, and I can't find the lug nut, so I can't put it on. But anyway, we got done what I wanted to get done today. So technically it's not a roller because it don't have both tires on it, but I don't know what the hell I did with the lug nuts. So, but yeah, she done. But we still got a ton of work to do. I was really wanting to go ahead and throw the motor in before we put all the new core support and all that in it, but I'm gonna have to make all new brake lines because they run through here, and so yeah, I'll have to get all that done before we put the motor and stuff in it. But we're getting there. I mean, a little bit here and there helps. Of course, you know, like I said, I hadn't been out here in close to 2 months, so I'm a little behind, but you know what? Family got to come first, so it is what it is. But I think it's where I am going to officially end this video. I appreciate everybody watching as always, and hopefully we can get back to trying to put a video out more regular than we have been here lately, and I will see y'all on the next one. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.